Marijuana is illegal in more than 12 countries in the world. In 2018, Canada became one of the countries alongside Uruguay, Australia, and the Netherlands to legalize marijuana for medical and recreational purposes. However, there are still many places where marijuana is illegal, and the people using it usually face very harsh punishments. There's a push to change this law in many places, as it is causing a lot of young people to have criminal records. The argument is about whether marijuana should be legalized in all parts of the U.S. is still ongoing. Marijuana should be legal because enforcement is unnecessarily cruel. It's racially discriminatory, and alcohol and tobacco are far more harmful. Let's dig a little deeper into each topic. A growing number of states have legalized or decriminalized the possession of small amounts of marijuana, but the drug still remains illegal in other states and under federal law. And police officers in the United States have still made arrests for marijuana offenses far more than any other drug. Police officers make about 63,000 arrests for marijuana-related offenses in the 50 states and the District of Columbia in 2018, amounting to the 40% of the 1.5 million total drug arrests in the U.S. that year, for which data is still available. The second largest category of drug arrests involved in other drugs, followed by the heroin, cocaine, and other drugs, and synthetic manufactured drugs. These figures include arrests for possessing, selling, or manufacturing each kind of drug. They are based on information submitted to the FBI from thousands of states and local enforcement agencies, which make the vast majority of arrests in the U.S. each year. It's difficult to access changes in the number of marijuana arrests over time because the list of local and police agencies that submit arrest data to the FBI is not identical from year to year. But as a share of our reported drug arrests in the U.S., marijuana has decreased in the last decade and are now at the lowest level in the 20 years, down from 52% of all drug arrests in 2020. Now let's talk about the racial discriminatory part of marijuana. Marijuana has been a key driver of mass criminalization in the country, and hundreds of thousands of people, the majority of them whom are Black or Latin, have their lives impacted by a marijuana arrest each year. But the tide is turning against the remains of a drug war targeted at Black and brown people that were never meant to increase the public safety in the first place. Legalization is an important step towards ending the war on drugs, and it cannot come soon enough. Legalizing marijuana must come with expungement and reinvestment in the communities most harmed by the enforcement. With limitations on how police can interact with people who they suspect a marijuana offense, with legal non-public spaces for smoking marijuana for those who cannot smoke in their residence. With a prohibition on deportation for people with marijuana convictions and a full inclusion of those who are most impacted by criminalization of marijuana in the new marijuana industry. Currently, 9 states of the District of Columbia allow recreational use among adults, while 31 states allow medical marijuana use. The laws reflect growing public support. 2 out of 3 Americans are in favor of legalization, which has majority support in all age groups and political affiliations. Let's get into tobacco and alcohol are more harmful than marijuana. The study compared to the risk of death from typical recreational use of 10 drugs: heroin, cocaine, ecstasy, amphetamine, methamphetamine, methamine, marijuana, alcohol, and tobacco. The study's authors determined that weed was the far safest substance, even when compared to cigarettes and alcohol. The Drug Enforcement, the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA, in the United States ranks that controlled substances according to 5 schedules. Drugs like heroin and ISDI, as well as marijuana, are listed as Schedule 1, which means that they are considered to have a high risk for abuse and are thought to be the most dangerous since tobacco and alcohol are both legal. They aren't controlled substance, and therefore they are subjected to DEA scheduling. For years, marijuana legalization advocates for explaining that marijuana is far more safer than alcohol. Experts consider tobacco to be the leading preventable cause of death in the United States. Um, the, cause, the case for tobacco the case for tobacco prohibition is actually much stronger than the case for marijuana prohibition, since tobacco has probably had more harmful effects and no benefits than marijuana. Alcohol prohibition has, of course, already been tried. Um, and judging by the history of the war on drugs, legislators have apparently learned nothing from this failed experiment. Further, it is impossible to overdose on marijuana since a pot smoker would have to consume about 20,000 to 40,000 times of the amount of THC in a single joint to produce a lethal dose. In conclusion, legalization of marijuana would have many benefits. The drug is associated with treatment of many serious illnesses, including the dreaded cancer. Legalization would also save users from consuming unsafe marijuana sold by vengeful people. There are also other health conditions that can be controlled through the drug. Arguments against the legalization based off the effects of human health also lack sufficient scientific support. It is thus only safe that the drug is legalized in all states.